Did you know that right now, as this episode is being released the first week of February in 2026, 64% of people have already abandoned their 2026 goals? And it's not because they're lazy or they're undisciplined, it's because they sprinted instead of building capacity first. My name is Elyssa Smith, and in this episode of the Unlock Your Blocks podcast, we are talking about how to build consistency without self abandonment. If you're tired of going all in, burning out, starting over, this episode is for you. Why do we sprint and give up? Why is it that we lose our motivation partway to our goal? So, sprinting is our nervous system strategy when we're young. It's not a motivation issue. It's a nervous system strategy to get us more of what we need when we're little. Okay. So essentially, what we're doing is we are trying to get results and we're trying to get safety by going all out and going hard. And there's nothing like a fresh new year and a fresh new month and a fresh new journal that I know you bought getting ready for January, or maybe it was a new planner. Whatever it is, we as humans are designed to go after the brand new fresh start. Wipe out everything that's been and let's go forward again as new creatures. New you, new year, new you. That's it, right? But when we operate in a way that says, I am going to push for this goal and just not give up this time, because we see our past failures going towards our goals as I just gave up. I just didn't have the discipline. I just, didn't end up being able to push hard enough. We are in an old mentality that was wired into us when we were little that says working harder, doing more, and being better is what will get us the results that we want, which is ultimately to be more loved, to be more safe, to be more at home and at rest and have more joy. But as adults, other people are no longer in charge of those things for us, right? So we can actually go out and just do the things we want to do, and we will keep ourselves safe. We will make sure that we have the things we need. We will make sure that we get the connection and the comfort that we need. If you learn how to work with your system and heal from the past, and that's exactly what I do with my one-to-one clients and in my group container, we work through how do you give yourself now the things that you needed when you developed all these protective mechanisms, these protector parts, the procrastination, perfectionism, sprinting hard until you burn out, going bigger, or I think it's, go big or go home, right? Like going bigger or just quitting. So high achieving women feel often that urgency is what creates safety and results. And so I get a lot of clients coming in, or have someone who's seen my TEDx talk on YouTube who say like, I need deadlines in order to be productive. That's why I procrastinate. And so I need deadlines in order to be productive. But that's actually not the case. You can't do your highest and best work under pressure. And when you do it under pressure, you burn out a lot faster. So slow progress feels like, if you're not just going hard after it and sprinting instead of, walking methodically through to the end of whatever you're trying to achieve, slow progress feels like you're falling behind. It feels like maybe you're being forgotten or judged, or you're losing momentum, or there's a fear of failure. Like that might be failure because I didn't get there. One thing I hear from my clients all the time, literally every week, I hear someone say, I used to be able to keep up with this pushing hard and doing all the things. And I kept all the, the plates spinning, and I ran my business, or I was in my career and I accomplished a lot. And then something happened and I broke. That's how a lot of women put it. I broke. But you know what? It's not that you broke. It's that your system was not designed to operate at that level always. This whole idea of sprinting towards your goal is nice over a short period of time because it's kind of fun. It's like inspirational and you're all like on fire for your goal. But when your system doesn't see immediate results and you're results oriented in your goals, that's a whole other episode for another day. But results oriented goals plus a sprint is a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for nervous system quitting on you, and it's just going to slow you down and stall you from all the goals. We have this thing that in the ACA 12-step program, look it up if you don't know what it is. It's an amazing trauma-informed program for adult children of dysfunctional families. Hi, that's me. I love my dysfunctional family. But we talk about this concept in that program of the inner drugstore. adrenaline equals success. And it gives us hits of dopamine to accomplish stuff, checking off those boxes. Now, listen, I'm not ever going to give up checking off my boxes. I love checking off the little tick marks in my, in my Google Doc or in whatever it is that I'm working from for my tasks for the day, checking off my Asana tasks for my fellow online entrepreneurs. And at the end of the day, I love a good checklist. Like, did I get this done? Did I get this done? Now, that being said, if that is the whole drive behind our productivity, it's going to wear us out because your system is associating safety with this adrenaline and cortisol and all the things that your brain needs to produce in order to run in that way. So we push hard, we override our body signals, and then we just keep hoping that we're going to be able to follow through this time. God bless her. I have a brand new client and she's been talking to me about like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to mess this up. We're working together to help her. She's creating all this new stuff in her life and in her work life. And she's like, I am just pretty sure that I am going to blow this. I'm going to mess it up somehow because I have always done that before. And what we're working on right now is slowing her system down and going a little more gently, which is counterintuitive. If you are a high performing, high achieving woman who's used to, I will be the hardest worker in the room. Absolutely. Like, yes, sign me up. I will do the things. I will sign up. I will work hard and I will do the stuff, complete it under pressure. And, even against your procrastination and perfectionism and overthinking. But here's the deal. Sprinting is what guarantees the inconsistency. When you sprint, your nervous system eventually forces you to stop. That's the point where most women will say, and then I broke, because your nervous system couldn't sustain it. So then it's really important that we understand that falling off the wagon, falling off the path of this productivity and these accomplishments and achievements isn't failure. Your body is protecting itself from another decade or multiple decades of working at that level of hard work with no breaks. It's like, hey, I let you do this for the first 30, 40, 50 years of your life, but I'm all done doing that now and I'm just going to need a nap. So I get a lot of women coming to me from hearing the podcast or watching my TEDx talk. And they're just like, I just feel like I could sleep and I just am losing interest in what I was doing to accomplish my goals before. And I'm like, yeah, that's your nervous system sending a message. Good job listening. You did it. You did it. And then you found me. And then we're going to work together to create very gentle, consistent steps so that your nervous system comes back online and it starts to be in that parasympathetic nervous system response. We have two types of nervous system responses. We can be in the sympathetic system, which is the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And freeze or fawn. It's not freeze or fawn. I had someone clarify that with me the other day. My little Hoosier accent gets in the way. Freeze or fawn. So freeze or fawn, those are the last two. And when you're in any of those, it's great news. It will save your life. It actually has saved mine many times. Have you ever almost been in a car accident or something happened and you had crazy cat-like reflexes and you needed to? I can't tell you how many times I've saved my child's life because he was doing something crazy, as toddlers will. And now he's 11 and he kind of still does that. God bless him. He feels very safe to experiment with things. And that I consider that a parenting win. However, when we're in that phase of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn for an extended period of time because of deadlines, because of stress, because of goals that won't let us let up, we burn through that inner drugstore. The cortisol goes, the adrenaline, what's it called when you're adrenal fatigue, you have adrenal fatigue, maybe some chronic fatigue, and then you have immune issues because your immune system has been absent for as long as you've been in survival mode, by the way. Did you know that? That your nervous system tells your immune system, hey, we don't need to fight sickness. We're actually just running from a wild animal real quick. We're going to go fight something and then you can come back online. So if you stay in the sympathetic nervous system response for too long, all the stuff goes away. You have no capacity to sprint anymore because you burned it all out. Guess who's the first one to admit she did this? I've done this so many times in my life. And that's why I was like, I need to study this. And then I will tell the world and I will help the world with this. So the other piece you need to understand is we want to be in the parasympathetic nervous system response. That's the rest and digest space. And that feels so good to your system, maybe a little scary at first. And in the last episode, in my era of letting go, I shared with you why it felt and how it felt scary for me to let go of some of the things that I was working on in my business and in my personal life, and to build in more breaks and more stillness. My system thought, oh no, we're not being productive. That must mean we're a failure and we're lazy and we're not doing the things. So there are always layers of this set of thoughts that come that think that rest and peace and ease are a threat to your worth, your value, and your accomplishments. It creates shame and self-criticism and the belief that you can't be trusted with long-term goals, and that you're lazy when you're trying to let go of things and go slower and not do a sprint for the first time. Your nervous system is going to say, like, all of that, even though your nervous system is also the one begging for a break, it also will tell you, wait, I am exhausted and I'm not going to help you accomplish these goals anymore because I need a break. But also, if you try to take a break and you build it in, I am also going to sabotage you because I will give you anxious thoughts until we are working harder again. So what do we do? Because this cycle becomes pushing until you crash, and then you reset, and then you repeat. So push, crash, reset, repeat. That's not fun, ladies. That is not fun. And when we are looking at it that way, and we don't see a way out of that hamster wheel, it's just really defeating. But here's the deal. What consistency actually requires and how to practice it is it comes from a regulated pace, not willpower. So I don't need you to be the hardest worker in the room anymore. I know. Hold on. Let's take a pause. Breathe. Breathe for me. Breathe. Being the hardest worker in the room is what got you here, but it's not what's going to get you to that next level of success, that next level of sustained success. Okay. So for anything new, you're going to need to build safety around that change. You need your window of tolerance to gradually get bigger and say, we're allowed to change what we do and how we accomplish our goals. We don't have to do what we've always done because it got us here, but now we're hitting this wall and we're not going to get past that wall if we keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. Isn't that the definition of insanity, I think? Doing the same thing and expecting different results. So if you have consistently given yourself evidence that you're never going to finish the course that you buy, you're not going to complete the things that the coach tells you to do or the therapist tells you to do, you've got evidence working against you that says, I'm a failure and I just need to try harder in order to accomplish those goals. But really what you need is you need more safety. You need more capacity. You need your system to not be fighting you when you're trying to rest and be in ease and have your mind slow down finally. So if you really know what to do and you still can't make yourself do it, I want you to think about, what is the smallest version of this thing that I want to do? What's the smallest step I could take or the smallest version of this project that I could do that feels doable, that feels like, oh, that's so easy, I could go do that now. So I want you to stop before the burnout happens instead of after you collapse, and see if you could feel it coming. A lot of times there'll be body sensations that come with that. You'll start to feel exhausted. You'll start to feel drained. And then you can pause. You can do my 3S framework, which is 3 deep breaths for safety. You go make a cup of tea or your favorite beverage for self-nurturing, getting your 5 senses all calm. And then you reach out to a bestie or someone like me or a therapist for support. Your system will then understand, oh, we're not running from a wild animal. We're actually safe, even though it feels real weird to be sitting on the couch in the middle of the day for 15 minutes. That's how I started out a few weeks ago with some of my time, not exactly time off, but like my breaks that I was starting to build in more. And your nervous system might just feel a little on fire for a little while, and you keep doing safety activities. You're doing your deep breaths, you're doing meditation, you're journaling it out, you're talking to somebody about it. And eventually you can rewire the things that maybe even trauma in your childhood or in your past, the past years have caused. Your brain is wired to keep you safe, and you have to make ease and peace and joy the most safe option in order to accomplish sustained productivity and get those goals for this year. So I would love to share with you my free PDF guide for women. It is the 5 nervous system hacks that you can do at your desk. You can start today to create this safety for yourself. Go to elyssasmith.com/reset and it will give you this guide right into your inbox. I hope you're taking such good care of yourself, and I will see you here in the next video where we're going to be talking about consistency some more so that you can create consistency even when you lose your motivation.